How important is a man's semen for physical, mental, and spiritual well being? Can wasting our semen damage us spiritually?
Well, you know, semen is the basis of your physical existence, whether you're a man or a woman. You have come into existence because that is 50% of the ingredient. Yes? Well, we have skin, we have epithelial cells, we have hair, we have many other aspects of body, heart, liver, kidney, so many things. All these cells are of a certain potency in their own way. But semen is of an extraordinary level of potency, it can create a whole new life. Well, today you can take an epithelial cell and do a lot of things in a laboratory and maybe we can clone you, all right? So the potential is here also, but it is not in the same dynamics as it is in a cell, which you're referring to as semen. So in the yogic culture, this is called as virya. Virya also refers to what you call as vajra, which means stability, or diamond, which is the hardest thing. So in the human body, virya is considered to be like vajra. That means it is one of the most potent things if you know how to use it. Well, how to use it means you can use it to produce a child, that's one thing. Well, if this question is coming because you are using it to spill it on the JNU bed sheets, okay? If that's how you're using it, well, that's your compulsion, you're doing whatever you're doing. This is not something to be judged morally, that's not the point, it's a question of what is the level of compulsion that one has. But anything in this body, can it be transformed into a different level of function? Absolutely. Not just semen, just everything in this body can be transformed. See, suppose I gave you all soup-making ingredients, same soup-making ingredients to every one of you. Do you believe all of you will produce the same soup? No. You will produce 500 varieties of soups, those same ingredients. That's all that's happened with us right now. All of us are fundamentally same ingredients, but see how different each one of us are. Different soups. Well, if I give you soup-making ingredients, either you can make a great soup or a lousy soup. Depends what kind of skills you have, isn't it? So this goes for everything, not just for semen. Every dimension of your body and your mind, you can transform into something tremendous, or you can make it mediocre, or you can make it a serious problem. Every aspect of your life. That goes for this aspect of life also. This same energy, see, people are making it literal translations, but if you want to produce a certain, let's say, epithelial cells, how much energy the body spends on it? And if you want to produce a cell which you call a semen, how much energy body spends is very different. This can be scientifically established. So, when you're investing so much energy in that, obviously it has a potency if you know how to explore. But are you competent to explore? Are you capable of exploring? Do you have the necessary sadhana and guidance to do that? That's a big question mark.
Only less than 1% of the people tap into their genius. You have always told us that turn inward. So, how do we turn inward and what do we look at?
No, I didn't get that. Can you hold the microphone?
I'm saying that only 1% of the genius, only 1% of the people tap into their genius. And you say that you need to turn inward to tap into their genius. How do we turn inward and what do we see?
Well, there are two things mixed up in this. To unfold human genius, you need both external ambience and internal ambience. Internal ambience is just this, you must come to ease. You must come to total ease with life. Most people are going like this all the time. You have to come to ease. Coming to ease means, somebody was asking me in one of the colleges, how do we know we are at ease? In the yoga center, we have a cobra test. You know about this already, huh? You already know about it?
Some of them.
Some of them know. See, most of the venomous creatures are like this, particularly cobras are like this, and the bees are like that, and even the spiders are like that. They don't see you, they don't hear you much. Cobras are stone deaf, snakes are mostly stone deaf, they can't hear a thing. But they feel your chemistry. If you go into the forest and just pick up a cobra like this, not holding by the head and all that, simply like this, he will simply come without any reaction. I think you saw… showed a quick image there, where I'm holding a king cobra in my hand, not by the head, just like this. He's not a pet, he's a wild snake, okay? He was with us only for 2 days, then we left him in the mountains because he came there, I caught him. So, if a king cobra bites you, it'll give you somewhere between 20 to 40 minutes to live. He has enough venom to kill an elephant, okay? That king cobra that you saw is nearly 13 feet long. He has enough venom to kill an elephant. But I'm holding him like this, he's simply there. Because he only sensing your chemistry. If you show a little bit of anxiety, he'll go for you, because he senses danger. Your anxiety is danger for him. So we can put you through a cobra test whether you have come to ease or not. Even if you come to ease, whether the social situation will allow you to explore your genius or not, that is also there. When you have a very dogmatic social structure around you, when you have very dogmatic religions around you, then they won't allow you to explore your genius. They will make sure that you stick to the norms that they've established. So, creating a social ambience and an internal ambience is important. I think today you can escape from any kind of dogmatic situations or compulsive situations around you, you can leave that place. It was not possible to leave that place 100, 200 years ago. But today, if you find a situation is completely not conducive for your way of existence, you can leave that place and transport yourself to another place and live there, isn't it? This was not possible in the past. But now, you have to come to ease. But today, whole lot of you are taking pride. You're looking at your lack of attention, your stress, like qualifications. I'm stressed. It's supposed to be a qualification or what? It's almost become like this, especially I'm seeing in the management sector. If you're a CEO, at least you must have an ulcer. Otherwise, you're not a good CEO, you're not working hard enough. This is because we are thinking stress is a natural phenomena. No, stress is just your inability to handle your own system. Yes? You do not know how to handle your body, how to handle your chemistry, how to handle your thought, your emotion, and you're calling this is happening because of something else. No. Outside situations, people will create the way they know life. It's for you to create the inner situations the way you want it, isn't it? The world will never happen 100% your way, never ever. But at least this 1% must happen your way, isn't it so? Right now, this person is not happening your way, that's the big problem. The reason why I'm here today is to see, to provide tools or technologies for well-being, so that at least within yourself you're the way you want to be. If you had a choice as to how to be within yourself, would you choose to be joyful or miserable? You must tell me right now, I'm going to bless you.
Joyful.
Choice for yourself is very clear, isn't it? If there is a choice between pleasantness and unpleasantness, you want pleasantness for yourself. What you want for your neighbor may be debatable. But what you want for yourself is 100% clear. Coming to ease, there are many ways. People, this question can be asked, ease means people will say peace. This happened. Can I tell you a joke?
Yes.
Are you okay? Because many of you looking so serious, I'm wondering. In JNU, there are jokes or only serious? Hello?
All the time, jokes.
Okay. So, Shankaran Pillai was a abusive husband. He was always abusing his wife, sometimes physical abuse, sometimes sexual abuse, sometimes verbal abuse on a daily basis, everything. But the wife was always just calm, undisturbed. One day he freaked on her, but she was undisturbed. Then he asked, "How do you do this? I'm abusing you. Every day I say something nasty, some days I do something nasty to you, but I've never seen you throwing up. You're always peaceful. How do you do it?" She said, "I clean the toilet." What? If I abuse you, you clean the toilet? She says, "Yes, if you abuse me, I clean the toilet. When I physically abuse you," she said, "I will clean 2 toilets. If I sexually abuse you," she said, "I'll clean all the toilets in the house." But cleaning a toilet, how does it keep you peaceful? She said, "I use your toothbrush." There are many ways of handling it.
Sadhguru, we as students stay away from our homes, from the familial, emotional comforts. In terms of our careers, we move out seeking greener pastures. In that, we seek company in opposite sex. Some people get into relationships which gradually progresses to physical intimacy. Sadhguru, the question is then why as generations we cannot discuss it openly, or is premarital sex still a taboo?
See, this is not some kind of a prescription. This is an individual need. Right now, we must understand this. In this society, we handled human sexuality like this. Before a girl attains puberty, they are named. This is the boy you're going to marry at the age of 6 or 7. They don't marry, but they keep telling him, "Your uncle's son, this guy, you're going to marry him, you're going to marry him." They're telling him, "You're going to marry her." So they have not seen each other, they have not met each other, they have nothing going, but emotionally they're being bound. Before they touch each other physically, they want them to be emotionally bound in a strong way. So this is the technique of the culture, how they dealt with it. So when you become or attain to your puberty, when your body blossoms into certain possibilities, now your emotions are already with somebody. So you handle your body, you don't go wild because your emotions are already attached to somebody. So by the time they're 15, 16, the girl gets married. By the time they're 17, 18, the boy gets married. They get into agriculture or business or whatever, their activity. So one important aspect of the life of the youth is settled. One thing is emotion, another thing is a physical requirement. Both are settled at an early age. And of course, those days children came within a year or 2 years, so they got engaged and they got busy and life went on, all right? Today, our lives have changed because by the time you finish education, most people are minimum 24, 25 years of age. PhD means 30, what, 35? I don't know what It depends how kind your professor is So, let us say average education time is 25 years of age. By the time they get employment and settle down somewhere to reasonable financial security, 30 years of time, all right? The peak of human hormonal function is between 15 to 30. You're not teaching people some ascetic way to live. You're not giving them some sadhana that they're transforming their energy into some other possibility and attaining to something else. There is no such thing. And there's close proximity with the opposite sex. If you don't want to address it, then you will create an unhealthy society, very unhealthy society, which unfortunately is finding expression in violent ways in our society, because we've not addressed the fundamental needs of a human being. First thing is nourishment. If nourishment is taken care of, you must understand, nourishment is survival. Once survival is taken care of, naturally the species, this is not even individual, the species that you are is longing to reproduce. This is how it's built. It's longing to reproduce because this is survival of the species. If people don't reproduce, there is not going to be human race, isn't it? So, your body and your mind plays many tricks, and how when you look at somebody, you suddenly think they're the most beautiful, suddenly you think they're the most fantastic, you will discover later many things. But initially, everything is clouded. See, I'm telling you, let's say you are 10, 12 years of age, you looked at people, they're quite normal. Suddenly you became 14, every little bump on somebody's body is a world by itself. Simply because your hormones begin to influence everything. In a way, your intelligence is hijacked by your hormones. Now, this is not to be judged as bad or good, this is a natural process. There may be a few people who will go beyond that. It's fantastic for them if they can go beyond that. They're not compulsive about it, they went beyond it, fantastic for that person. But you expect the whole society to go beyond it, you're just stupid. Such a thing doesn't happen. So, definitely the debate of when and how sexuality should happen has to come in. But now, we are still having a certain cultural aspects to us that we are an emotional lot. We are still an emotional lot. People suffer immensely when things happen without the needed emotions. A whole lot of people at least. There may be a few people who are above that, but a whole lot of people suffer. So, for our country, for our society, how to deal with this without causing a major disruption in the social structure is something that we must debate. You must do research on it, how to do it.
So Sadhguru, in your one of the earlier videos, you have mentioned of having those leftist orientations. You have been involved in putting posters, and you have been in that league of attending attending meetings late in the night and putting posters and all that. But when we were interacting with the students in the campus, we found out that there is this dominant perception about Sadhguru being right-wing. Though you have tried to explain it earlier as well. But this…
No, right?
But this…
Only right arm.
But Sadhguru, this perception is because you have supported government earlier on the issue of demonetization, then later on having no bomb blast occurred in the country. So is Sadhguru…
That's clear.
Has Sadhguru turned right-wing now? Is it…
See, right now, we are working with the Tamil Nadu government, which you know is AIDMK. Nobody knows which wing it is. We are doing a lot of work with Andhra Pradesh government. Still, I think even that you can't decide which wing it is. And that wing was part of the big wing in the center, but now it is not, it is flapping against it. Now we are working in Kerala, which is left wing, and we are working with the central government. If you want to call it right wing, you can call it right wing. I'm saying, what is this problem with the government? Government means, in a democratic country, it's people's choice, isn't it? Now I don't respect people's choice, I respect only my choice. I think you're a nutcase. You're fanatical. You're fanatical about your own beliefs. I don't belong to any wing, but when people elect, whether I agree with it or I don't agree with it, personally, whether I agree or I do not agree with it, I will bow down to people's will, because that's what democracy means. Now, the significance of democracy is just this. Why can't we have… well, you mentioned about my… say that I was only 14, okay? Please pardon me.
Young blood, that time.
Even now…
But then you are putting…
even now young,
Sadhguru, you are putting it as it was your mistake. You were
no,
just
I did
14.
not say it's my mistake. It is just that I am telling you, this is 70s. 1967, Che passed away. You don't understand at that time, Che was like… he was like our elder brother, he died. And how he was killed, those stories spread everywhere. And there's a lot of emotion in all of us. Even today I see people wearing Che's t-shirt and going. Most probably, a whole lot of them don't know who he is, they think he's Bob Marley or something. So, at that time, it's like our elder brother was killed in Bolivia. And at that time, the nation was in a state where it looked like there's not going to be any solution in this country at that time. So we thought, we and a whole lot of other people believed, unless there's an armed revolution, there is no way out for this country. And even in school, there were teachers who were giving us talks. And everywhere there was Russian literature, and we read and read, we devoured Russian literature, and it all made sense. And I'm always angry. You can't believe this. But I'm always angry because everywhere I see injustice. In home, on the street, everywhere in politics and religion, any damn place, I see only injustice and injustice and injustice. So I am all the time 24 hours angry about something. When you're angry, you want a quick solution. You're not willing to wait for solutions to happen, you want a quick solution. So the quick solution looked like armed struggle. These were the heady days of Charu Majumdar and Somalu in the south. Well, we were fired up by that. I'm not regretting those days, but we have come to a time now where we are on a threshold of possibility through democratic means. Never before this has happened in the world, I want you to know this. The only nation which has moved 1 billion people from poverty to a certain level of economic well-being is China, okay? But they did it the hard way, violent way, all bullets and bullets and bullets. But they've done a great job because keeping people for generations in poverty is worse than killing them. In extreme poverty, where nourishment is an issue. So they did what they did in their own way. You can condemn them or you can admire them. For me, it's a certain wisdom, painful wisdom, which they employed and they did. And once they achieved what they have to achieve, now they're trying to move slowly towards a democratic process to some extent. At least open market system they're going into. But with India, we have a unique possibility. We can move 500 to 600 million people from abject poverty in which they are right now to a reasonable level of well-being in a matter of next 10 to 15 years' time. We are just on the threshold of that. Through a democratic process, without bullets, without killing, without massive repression, nothing, no force. Without force, we are able to do it. If we manage to do it, if all of us get together, it will happen, otherwise we'll sit on the threshold forever. Right now, there is a possibility we can cross the threshold. I think we must make that possibility a reality because never before any nation, anywhere, has moved 600 million people from poverty to reasonable well-being in a matter of one generation. It's not happened anywhere. We can do this in this country for the first time. So, well, when you were young, you were communist, now you're saying this. I've not changed my position, I'm still that. Because for me, communism means an individual embracing the community as myself. That I still am. I may not be in the party, because the party didn't make sense to me, but communism has not gone out of me. We are a community where we live together, a few thousand people, without any distinction of caste, creed, religion, anything. Nobody I've ever asked who come to Isha Yoga Center, what is your religion, what is your caste? I don't even ask because it never occurs to my mind. So, how I became right-wing in JNU, I do not know. So I feel today, when information is available everywhere, I think young people, educated people should… all of you research scholars should do some research at least, all right? Just making wild conclusions about somebody whom you have not even met, this I've seen everywhere, especially in this country. This doesn't happen anywhere else in the world, this is what I'm seeing. In this country, people who have never met you seem to know more about me than I know about myself. Those who have never seen me, those who have never met me, those who have never spoken to me, they know more about me than I know about my own life. I think you must give them a PhD because there's such a imaginative research they are doing. So I'm working with governments. I will always work, let everybody know this. Whichever government gets elected, because I bow down to the people's will. My opinion is not bigger. My opinion is not bigger than the people's will of this nation, always.
Sadhguru, every time I come to know of a feat achieved or the great ability of a role model, there is an instinctive aspiration to encompass that and to achieve that for myself as well. But then with it comes the formidability of the profoundness of the ambition. So what is the right approach for such ambitions in life?
See, this role model business is a very Western idea that we've taken on to. Every human being is made in a unique way. It's very important, every human being explores what is so unique about us and how to find expression to the intelligence that we are. If we try to do what somebody else is doing, then one thing is, maybe it's easy because it's like a set path, already they've done it, so I want to do the same thing, it's easy to do it. But you're saying that is also formidable. But the beauty of life is that you explore the full potential of who you are, not do better than somebody or do what somebody else has done. You being better than somebody is not of any consequence. Or you being like somebody else is also of no consequence. No two human beings can ever be equated in body and mind, isn't it so? Hello? You can never, ever equate two people in mind and body. This is one kind, that's another kind, absolutely unique. Never ever these two things are going to be same, do what you want. So this is the beauty of being a human being. Don't destroy that by trying to imitate somebody. Imitation we should have left in the previous stage of our evolution, you know. We should have left it there, but this thing about creating role models has been built up because, you know, there is a whole school of American thought where they're always telling you how to manage your life, how to eat, how to manage your industry, how to manage your business, how to do this, how to keep your hair, everything standardized. No, one person's hair and another person's hair are different. It can't be kept the same way, isn't it? Hello? It cannot be kept the same way. Forget about the head, even the hair. Hair is also unique, isn't it? So, people keep asking me, Sadhguru, you became like this, who is your role model? I tell them, see, I'd never rolled with models, so don't ask me such things. This role model business you leave, all of you, young people, you must do this in some way. You find a place which is supportive but not influencing you. No influence from the peers, no influence from your professors, no influence from your parents, no influence from society. Such a place you choose where you're well supported in terms of food and whatever. Spend at least 3 to 10 days, depending on what you need, and look at it, what is it that you genuinely want to do in your life? Is your life precious, I'm asking you? Yes. Is your life precious? Yes. If this is a precious life, in what do you want to invest this life? Please consider this. Don't do something that somebody else is doing. If this is a precious life, where do I want to invest this life? It is not a question of profession, it's not a question of becoming like somebody, it's not a question of earning or living like somebody, it is a question of what do I want to make out of this life? Where do I want to invest this life, in what? So look at this in as profoundly as you can. Today if you're taking a call on something, you look at it in 25 years, will it still mean something to you, whatever you're planning to do today? In 50 years, will it still mean something to you? At the end of your life, if you look back, will you die a fulfilled human being? This is something you must consider, because this is your life and you said it's precious. If it's a precious life, it needs a certain amount of consideration and attention. Don't do what somebody else is doing. That's not the way to conduct your life.
I always have an ethical dilemma that that when I eat the mess food, it is always not in the standard of like we get the mood of eating, we don't want to eat, and I end up wasting a lot of food. So I want a solution. How do I make up my mind to eat the food which I feel I don't like at all? Because I see that there are people dying for a single grain of food, and I'm here wasting food, getting all the facilities, but still I can't eat that food. However hard I try to sell the mess worker that please put little bit. So,
if you want a demo how you should eat this mess food,
if you can.
yeah, if you want a demo, you must take me out for dinner today at your mess.
Sadhguru, the mess timings are already over, unfortunately.
I'm too late for that. This is like this. You know, in any institution, this is always a problem. Even children in our school, though we do a lot of variety of food for them, children complaining about the food. I remember when my daughter was studying in a school, I go there as a parent, as a guest, to stay in the school for 3 days, twice a year. I just love the food in the school. I eat much more in the school than I would eat anywhere else. She just can't eat it. She just curses it every day, it smells the same, I can't eat this. I think this is a problem in every institution. It doesn't matter what kind of food you give, this issue is there. But I think a whole lot of people are complaining in their homes also, all right? So, I think one thing you can do is, I don't know if it's possible, I'm taking the liberty of saying this, the Vice-Chancellor is here, it's a suggestion, not a thing. One thing you should do is, maybe some of you should form teams that you will go and participate in the kitchen, maybe 1 week in a year, different people, at least you will know whom to curse. Right-wing parties, left-wing parties, if they cook, at least who is cooking better? Maybe things will happen, chemistry will happen if they cook well.